Experienced Aldi shoppers are not telling you everything. They smile politely in the aisle. They chat about the weather at the register. And then they quietly load their carts with 7 specific items at prices so far below market value that sharing the information openly would empty the shelves before they finished shopping. This is not paranoia. This is documented behavior that former employees recognize immediately when they see it. Here are the 7 items. And here is exactly why the veterans never wait. 7. Never. Any chicken thighs. The veterans do not reach for the boneless, skinless chicken breast. They walk directly to the dark meat section, and they buy in quantity without hesitation or deliberation. The casual shopper watching this behavior from 2 feet away assumes it reflects personal preference. It reflects something considerably more calculated than that. Aldi's Never Any Chicken Thighs carry the production standard that specialty grocery stores charge a premium to provide. No antibiotics ever. No added hormones. No animal byproducts in the feed. The welfare and production standards that Whole Foods and Sprouts attach to price tags 2 to 3 times higher are present in the Aldi Never Any label at a price that makes buying in volume and freezing immediately the obvious financial decision. The nutritional case for dark meat over breast meat is one that the food marketing industry spent decades suppressing in favor of the lean white meat narrative that drove premium breast pricing upward. Dark meat chicken contains more iron, more zinc, more B vitamins, and more selenium than white meat. The higher fat content translates directly into more forgiving cooking and significantly more flavor, a combination that means seniors actually eat more of what they cooked, rather than managing a dry protein that appetite has reduced to an obligation. The price per pound on Never Any Chicken Thighs at Aldi is the number that stops veterans mid-aisle on the first day of a new price cycle. Former employees working the meat section describe watching experienced shoppers arrive within the first hour of Wednesday morning specifically to check whether the Never Any Chicken pricing had changed. Fill their carts with quantities that reflect how rarely this production standard meets this price point anywhere in mainstream retail, and leave with enough to cover the next 3 to 4 weeks of protein needs. The freezer strategy that veterans apply is specific. Package in meal-sized portions immediately upon return home. Label with the date and planned preparation. The Never Any standard freezes without quality degradation that the sodium enhancement solutions in lesser chicken products cause during the freeze-thaw cycle, meaning the chicken a veteran buys on Wednesday is indistinguishable in quality from fresh chicken 4 weeks later when it comes out of the freezer. Former employees describe the Never Any Chicken Thigh section as the clearest indicator of whether a customer is a veteran or a newcomer. Veterans buy quantities. Newcomers buy one package. The behavioral difference reflects the knowledge difference, and the knowledge difference is exactly what this list exists to close. That was protein purchased at the production standard. Most shoppers pay 3 times more for somewhere else. What is coming at number 6 is something veterans buy every single rotation it appears, and the reason they never let it run out at home will make complete sense the moment you understand what it costs everywhere else. 6. Specially selected. Extra virgin olive oil. Veteran Aldi shoppers do not buy olive oil 1 bottle at a time. They buy it every time they see it, in every quantity the shelf allows, and they store it with the same systematic discipline they apply to the Never Any chicken in their freezer. The reason is specific and financially documented. Aldi's specially selected extra virgin olive oil delivers cold-pressed, properly certified oil from named producing regions at a price that specialty food stores and upscale grocery chains charge as the entry point for commodity olive oil with none of the provenance specificity. The quality tier that Aldi is selling at its price point costs 2 to 3 times more at every other accessible retail outlet, without exception. The health case for making this the primary cooking fat in a senior household is one of the most robustly supported in nutritional science. The polyphenol content of properly certified extra virgin olive oil, specifically the oleocanthal compound that operates through the same anti-inflammatory biological pathway as ibuprofen, is present in the cold-pressed specially selected version in concentrations that commodity olive oil produced through blending and extended storage cannot match. For seniors managing chronic inflammation as an underlying driver of cardiovascular disease, arthritis, and cognitive decline trajectory, this is not a cooking preference. It is a daily therapeutic decision. Veterans who have tracked Aldi's olive oil pricing across multiple rotation cycles describe the current price as one of the best they have observed, reflecting a supplier relationship and sourcing window that former employees and longtime shoppers consistently note does not remain at its most favorable price point indefinitely. The pricing cycles. The availability cycles. The veterans who understand both buy when the intersection of quality and price is at its most favorable rather than purchasing reactively when supply is most depleted. The storage protocol matters. Extra virgin olive oil stored in a cool, dark location maintains quality for up to 2 years from pressing. Buying 3 to 4 bottles during a favorable pricing window and storing them correctly is not hoarding. It is applied knowledge about a product whose quality and health value justify treating it as a pantry staple that is never allowed to run out. Before we continue, if these 7 items are already reshaping what goes into your cart on your next Aldi visit, hit that like button right now. Every item on this list represents a decision that veteran Aldi shoppers made before most customers caught on. One tap on like, do it now. Because what is coming at number 5 is something veterans treat as one of the most important monthly calendar events in their entire grocery routine, and the window is narrower than most seniors realize. 5. Organic ancient grain and specialty. Bread. Veteran Aldi shoppers have a specific relationship with the bakery section that most casual shoppers never develop, because developing it requires the kind of multi-visit pattern recognition that reveals something about the Aldi bread rotation that no sign, no announcement, and no weekly ad ever directly communicates. The specialty and organic bread rotation at Aldi introduces products at price points that the artisan and specialty bakery market considers its entry-level offering. Einkorn wheat sourdough, Emmer wheat multigrain loaves, organic sprouted grain breads, ancient grain varieties with the fermentation profiles and nutritional complexity that clinical nutritionists recommend for seniors managing blood sugar, gut health, and the general interest in eating food as close to its traditional form as modern retail can deliver. At artisan bakeries and natural food stores, these bread varieties carry prices that position them as conscious purchases made during moments of dietary resolve. At Aldi's specialty rotation price, they sit at a level that makes buying multiples and freezing immediately the behavior that produces the most value from any given rotation window. Veterans who have tracked this rotation describe the specialty bread section as one of the fastest clearing bakery categories in the store, emptied not by the general shopping population, but by the smaller group of informed shoppers who arrive during the first hours of the rotation and buy in the quantities that the rotation's limited availability justifies. The freezing protocol that maximizes the value of this behavior is straightforward. Slice before freezing if buying whole loaves. Store in airtight packaging to prevent freezer burn. Pull single portions as needed. The quality of properly frozen specialty bread upon thawing is functionally identical to the day it was purchased. The veteran who fills their freezer with 3 loaves of Aldi ancient grain sourdough on Wednesday morning is eating the same quality bread 6 weeks later at Wednesday's price regardless of what the bakery rotation is offering in the interim. Former employees describe watching the same customers arrive for the bread rotation with the purposeful efficiency of someone who has missed it once and decided never to let that happen again. That decision, made once after a single missed window, produces the stockpiling behavior that keeps veterans consistently ahead of every other shopper in this category. That was artisan quality at an honest price. What is coming at number 4 is the supplement deal that former employees say generates the most decisive purchasing behavior they observe in the health and wellness section of the store. 4. The vitamin D3 with K2 supplement bundle. Vitamin D deficiency affects approximately 70% of adults over 65 in the United States. The health consequences are specific, measurable, and directly relevant to the cardiovascular, immune, bone density, and cognitive outcomes that determine the trajectory of senior health across the coming years and decades. Vitamin K2 in the MK7 form is the complementary nutrient that makes vitamin D3 supplementation not just effective, but complete. Vitamin D3 increases calcium absorption from the gut. Vitamin K2 directs that absorbed calcium toward bone mineralization rather than arterial calcification, Clinical nutritionists increasingly describe taking vitamin D3 without K2 as an incomplete intervention, and the combined supplement that delivers both in properly formulated versions at therapeutic doses represents the current standard of care for addressing the vitamin D deficiency that is nearly universal in the senior population. Pharmacy chains and health food retailers charge prices for properly formulated D3, with K2 combinations that make the monthly supplement cost a meaningful budget line item for seniors managing multiple nutritional priorities on fixed incomes. When Aldi introduces the D3 and K2 combination bundle in its health finds rotation, it delivers the clinically relevant combination at a price that former employees describe as representing approximately 1/4 to 1/3 of what equivalent formulations cost at pharmacy retail. Veterans in the senior health community who understand the clinical significance of this specific supplement combination describe the Aldi D3 and K2 bundle as the health finds item they most consistently stockpile whenever it appears, buying the maximum available quantity rather than the single-month supply that a casual shopper might purchase on impulse. One former employee recalled watching a regular customer pick up the D3 and K2 bundle, check the dose on the label, verify the K2 form as MK7, and immediately place 6 bottles in her cart before any other customer in the section had even noticed the item was there. She had clearly been waiting for this specific product at this specific price point and had no intention of leaving without the supply that the occasion warranted. The stockpiling behavior this item triggers in informed senior shoppers is the most rationally justified of any item on this list because it combines the health urgency of addressing a nearly universal senior deficiency with the economic urgency of a price window that does not stay open indefinitely. That was a health investment treated as the priority it deserves. What is coming at number 3 is the grocery. Find that veterans describe as the most consistent annual value in the store's food rotation, one that most seniors still discover by accident rather than by intention. 3. Specially selected imported canned fish. Veterans do not treat canned fish as a pantry backup. They treat it as a health investment that Aldi prices at a fraction of what its nutritional content justifies at any specialty or conventional retailer. And they buy it in quantities that reflect a full understanding of how rarely this combination of wild-caught quality, production specificity, and price per serving appears anywhere in mainstream grocery retail. The specially selected canned fish rotation at Aldi, including wild-caught mackerel in various preparations, sardines packed in extra virgin olive oil, and anchovies from named fishing regions, delivers omega-3 fatty acid concentrations that rival or exceed fresh salmon at a price per serving that makes achieving the therapeutic omega-3 intake that cardiologists recommend financially effortless on any fixed income budget. Wild mackerel contains more omega-3 fatty acids per serving than salmon. Sardines eaten with their soft, edible bones deliver calcium alongside omega-3s in a combination addressing 2 of the most prevalent senior nutritional deficiencies simultaneously. The specially selected designation within the canned fish category reflects sourcing specificity, named fishing regions and wild-caught designations, that the commodity canned fish at the bottom of the market cannot match, and that specialty food retailers charge dramatically more to provide. Veterans who have tracked this rotation across multiple years describe buying cases rather than individual cans when the specially selected canned fish appears at its most favorable pricing. The shelf life of properly stored canned fish extends well beyond 2 years. The nutritional value is fully preserved throughout that storage period. The case-buying behavior that veterans exhibit is not excessive. It is the rational response of shoppers who understand that this quality at this price is a window rather than a permanent feature of the grocery landscape. Former employees who are personally attentive to nutrition describe the specially selected canned fish rotation as the product they most directly recommended to senior family members, citing the omega-3 content, the production quality, and the price gap against what equivalent sourcing costs at every other available retail outlet. Before we continue, if you are already building your stockpile list from these 7 items, subscribe to this channel right now. Every week, we bring you the Aldi intelligence that veteran shoppers use to stay ahead of every rotation and every savings window the store delivers. The seniors who subscribe are always the ones who arrive first. Buy smart, and never miss the items that most shoppers only hear about after the shelf is empty. Hit that subscribe button right now. Because number 2 is the item that former employees describe as the single most rationally stockpiled product in the entire store. And the reasoning behind that designation is more compelling than anything that has come before it on this list. 2. Never Any Ground Turkey. Ground turkey occupies a specific position in the veteran Aldi shopper's protein strategy that reflects a nutritional intelligence most casual shoppers have never applied to their weekly protein purchasing decisions. The nutritional argument for ground turkey over ground beef is particularly compelling for seniors managing cardiovascular health as a primary dietary priority. Lean ground turkey delivers comparable protein per serving with significantly lower saturated fat content, meaningfully fewer calories, and a sodium profile completely unaffected by the enhancement solutions that appear in ground beef products at less rigorous retailers. The omega-6 to omega-3 ratio in lean ground turkey is more favorable for inflammatory balance than the conventional grain-fed beef that most shoppers default to without nutritional examination. The Never Any designation on Aldi's ground turkey delivers the same production standard as the Never Any chicken. No antibiotics ever, no added hormones, no animal byproducts in feed, at a price point that makes buying in volume the obvious financial behavior for any senior who has compared this production standard against what it costs everywhere else in mainstream retail. Veterans who have built ground turkey into their weekly protein rotation consistently describe the transition from conventional ground beef as one of the most straightforward simultaneous health and budget improvements they made in their grocery routine. The applications are as versatile as ground beef across every cuisine preparation that seniors typically manage. Turkey meat sauce for pasta, turkey meatballs, turkey stuffed peppers, turkey chili that delivers the comfort and substance of beef chili with a nutritional profile that cardiovascular researchers would not object to. The stockpiling behavior veterans apply to Never Any ground turkey mirrors what they apply to the chicken thighs. Buy Wednesday morning during the first hours of the weekly reset. Portion into meal-sized packages. Label and freeze immediately. The Never Any standard. Free of the sodium enhancement solutions that affect texture and flavor during the freeze-thaw cycle, means the quality of veteran buys on Wednesday is present in full when they cook it 4 weeks later. Former employees who are personally health-conscious describe Never Any ground turkey as one of their regular personal purchases for exactly the reasons outlined above. Several describe never buying ground beef for their own households after learning the comparative nutritional profiles, an informal education that their employment context provided and that most shoppers never receive from any source. One item remaining, and it is the one that veteran Aldi shoppers describe with a combination of enthusiasm and deliberate vagueness that characterizes their discussion of every item on this list. Enough to confirm that it exists and deserves urgent attention. Not enough to describe it so completely that the shelf is empty before they finish their sentence. 1. The seasonal organic produce bundle at peak rotation veterans. Time their Aldi visits around one calendar event that most casual shoppers are completely unaware of, and the financial and nutritional return on that timing precision represents the single most compelling case for changing when and how a senior approaches the Aldi produce section. Twice yearly, in the late winter and early summer windows when seasonal transitions align with Aldi's supplier relationships most favorably, the store introduces an organic produce bundle at a combined price that makes the individual unit pricing comparison with any competing retailer, including other discount chains, immediately and significantly favorable. The bundle format, assembling seasonal organic items into a single coordinated purchase, delivers certified organic standard alongside seasonal variety at a price that the organic produce sections of Whole Foods, Sprouts, and conventional grocery store natural food sections carry as the price of a single organic item rather than a complete weekly produce complement. The nutritional case for prioritizing organic produce for seniors is specific and documented in ways that extend beyond the general wellness motivation that organic marketing has historically relied on. The pesticide residue load on conventionally grown produce accumulates in the body over time, and research has established that older adults with longer lifetime exposure and reduced detoxification capacity through aging liver and kidney function carry higher internal pesticide loads than younger adults consuming identical conventionally grown produce. The reduction in pesticide exposure through organic purchasing is not a trend-based preference for seniors. It is a measurable health decision with specific implications for the biological systems most compromised by aging. Veterans who have tracked the seasonal organic bundle rotation across multiple years describe the late winter appearance as the most favorable of the two annual windows, reflecting the alignment of peak winter citrus and root vegetable seasonal availability with the supplier relationships that produce Aldi's most competitive organic pricing of the year. The early summer window catches strawberries, stone fruits, and leafy greens at seasonal peak. The stockpiling behavior that veterans apply to the organic produce bundle is specifically adapted to the perishability constraints of the produce category. They do not buy 6 weeks of produce simultaneously the way they buy 6 weeks of chicken or canned fish. They buy the maximum quantity of items within the bundle that their immediate consumption, refrigeration, and freezing capacity can accommodate without waste. Berries freeze perfectly with zero preparation. Stone fruit freezes with minimal preparation after pitting. Leafy greens can be blanched and frozen for cooking applications. Root vegetables store for weeks under appropriate conditions without any processing. The veteran who arrives during the peak bundle window and buys with these storage applications in mind is maximizing the value of the organic pricing window against the full range of produce that their household needs across the coming weeks. Former employees in locations with high senior demographic density describe the organic bundle window as the produce event that generates the most organized customer arrival behavior they observe across the entire calendar year. These are not shoppers who happened to be in the store when the bundle arrived. They are shoppers who knew it was coming, cleared space in their refrigerators and freezers in anticipation, and arrived with enough bags and cooling capacity to take full advantage of the pricing window that most casual shoppers will discover only after the best selection has been claimed. The organic produce bundle is the item that completes the veteran's strategy across every major nutritional category. Never any proteins for daily protein needs. Specially selected olive oil for daily cooking fat. Ancient grain specialty bread for complex carbohydrates and fermentation benefit. D3 and K2 for the nutritional deficiency most prevalent in the senior population. Specially selected canned fish for omega-3 and calcium. Never any ground turkey for cardiovascular-friendly weekly protein variety. And the seasonal organic produce bundle for the pesticide-reduced fresh produce foundation that optimal senior nutrition requires. 7 items. Bought at the right times, in the right quantities. By the seniors who understood that the difference between shopping Aldi and mastering Aldi is not the store they walk into. It is the knowledge they walk in with. That knowledge is now yours. The shelf clearance behavior it produces when applied on the next Wednesday morning visit is the behavior that former employees recognize immediately as belonging to a veteran. Thanks for watching. If you found these insights helpful, let us know in the comments. Want to see our full breakdown of the top Aldi finds you should never miss this month? Click on the left. And if you do not want to miss more tips and secrets about getting the absolute most from your Aldi visits every single week, hit that subscribe button right now.